Imagine waking up to a new era in the United States, one led by Kamala Harris. How would her economic policies impact everyday Americans? Could her strategies make life more affordable, or will they come with unforeseen costs? Stay tuned as we explore the potential ripple effects of a Kamala Harris presidency on the U.S. economy. 1. Tax policy changes. Kamala Harris has consistently advocated for progressive tax policies aimed at shifting the burden more onto the wealthiest Americans and large corporations. If elected, she would likely push to reverse parts of the 2017 tax cuts introduced under former President Trump, particularly those benefiting high-income earners and corporations. Harris's plan could see an increase in the corporate tax rate from the current 21% to 28%, potentially generating significant federal revenue, estimated at around $1.4 trillion over a decade. This revenue could fund social programs, infrastructure, and other priorities. However, opponents argue that higher taxes could discourage investment, slow job growth, and make the U.S. less competitive globally. 2. Healthcare expansion. Healthcare is another area where Harris could bring significant changes. Building on the Biden administration's work, she proposes additional measures to control prescription drug costs, extend health benefits, and create a Medicare at-Home program. This would allow seniors to receive at-home care, potentially reducing hospital and nursing home costs. Harris's plan to cap out-of-pocket expenses for insulin and other prescriptions could help millions of Americans struggling with high drug prices. If she speeds up Medicare's negotiation power with pharmaceutical companies, Americans may see a decrease in healthcare spending, freeing up funds for other essentials. 3. Affordable housing. Kamala Harris has made affordable housing a central focus, aiming to make homeownership attainable for millions. Her plan includes providing first-time homebuyers with down payment assistance up to $25,000 and a tax credit of $10,000, helping lower-income families enter the housing market. Harris also proposes building millions of affordable housing units, which would target areas where supply shortages have driven up prices. These programs are designed to create more opportunities for lower-income families to own homes, but some experts worry about unintended consequences. If demand outpaces supply, housing prices could rise further, potentially putting homes out of reach for many middle-income Americans. 4. Higher wages. Harris is a strong proponent of raising the federal minimum wage, calling it a necessary step to lift millions out of poverty. She supports an increase to $17 an hour, which would directly impact over 18 million Americans. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that this could help reduce poverty, but may also lead to some job losses as small businesses struggle to pay higher wages. In addition to raising wages, Harris plans to end the tipped minimum wage, currently just $2.13 an hour. While her policies aim to make wages fairer, especially for service industry workers, opponents argue that sudden increases could burden small businesses and potentially lead to job cuts. Balancing between raising incomes and avoiding job losses will be central in a Harris-led economic agenda. 5. Price gouging ban. One of the most controversial proposals from Harris is her plan to ban price gouging, especially for essentials like groceries and fuel. Her goal is to protect consumers from companies exploiting high demand by drastically increasing prices. Harris aims to introduce a federal ban on price gouging, especially during emergencies, a measure already in place in some states but absent on the federal level. However, opponents, including many economists, argue that price controls can lead to shortages by reducing companies' incentives to supply goods at lower prices. They fear that artificially keeping prices low could make it challenging for businesses to meet demand, potentially resulting in scarcity of certain products. Kamala Harris's economic policies could reshape the U.S. economy in many ways, from healthcare reform to tax changes. Her agenda aims to create what she calls an opportunity economy, where more Americans have access to affordable housing, fair wages, and healthcare. However, her policies face potential pushback over their feasibility and impact on businesses. As she seeks the White House, voters are left wondering, will her ideas foster greater equality or create new challenges for the economy?